Hello. So Saturday, I went 8-0 with Fiendsmith Chimera, and I was able to win the World Celebration. Here's like the little thing. This deck's really fun. I think after the ban list has a little more room to shine, hopefully. So I think we'll see a little bit more of it. There's a few lists online. To be honest, there's always basis off of. I don't think it's particularly special, but I do think that I have a couple things in here that I do really like. So let's get into it. So I played 3 Nightmare Illusion. Nightmare Apprentice. It grabs any illusion card. This card's really good. I played 2 Sword Knight. One cool synergy is that this can grab this, and then you can normal summon to make a Light Dark Chaos Angel, and that's really good versus like a Caesar, for example. But anyway, you play 2 Sword Knight. Or I'm playing 2 Sword Knight because I just don't think this card is like the greatest play starter. Right? This is more of a card I want to use whenever I'm already like able to play, which means that I'll be searching it off of like a Cornfield Coddle. More often than not, or an illusion or something like that. Sorry, not illusion. Okay, I don't want to keep calling it a Nightmare Apprentice, not Nightmare Illusion. Cornfield 3 of it. It's basically just any of your Chimera related names. So 3 Gazelle. This card's really good to draw if you draw with a fusion spell, because then you trigger the effect and then you just combo. 2 Big Wing Berfomet. Your Sword Knight can't summon from a hand, and the second one comes up with follow up occasionally, so it's just nice to play 2. And then the 1 of Master Tau and 1 Diabells. Diabell's an inboard piece. She just wins the game more often than not when she ends up coming out. And the Master Tau is how you're able to get her out. Also, just an extender. Unfortunately, it locks you, but I mean, it's not the worst lock in the world, like an illusion lock. Though it would be nice if we got more illusion cards. 2 Agent Chain. This card's good, but unlike Patchwork, it's not necessarily a play starter in hand, so you just play 2 of it. When you're able to play, whenever you start your plays, you can get this guy out of your hand, and then you just get more advantage. 2 Engraver, 1 Lurie. I saw 2 Engraver very commonly in Fiendsmith deck, and I wasn't really understood why. And it's kind of the same theory behind your where's my Sword Knight? Behind your Sword Knight, is that it's not necessarily the best starter, right? It's not as much of a choke point as Sword Knight, but it's not necessarily the best starter, especially because Beatrice is gone, so you don't really have that flexibility there. And so you just want to cut cards to kind of like unnecessary cards, and this is so accessible already. Like, I don't know, you could play 3. If you play 3, I would say you probably should play the Aerial package. That way you can convert your Engraver to your Chimera engine, but I'm not doing that. I don't think it was really necessary. I'm not even playing it later. So in order to access it consistently, you have Necrom and Gold. These cards are just fucking like terrible. Like, you don't want to draw these ever. To be fair, if you draw like Necrom, it's fine because you can like fuse away and then summon the Gold. I don't play the fusion for gold, but you could play it before when Lacrimo is legal, because you could Lacrimo, add back the gold, pitch it for the fusion, and then that way if you didn't have a fusion spell, now you have a fusion spell. Fortunately, you just can't do that anymore because Lacrimo's not legal, so there's no point playing the 1 of like bad card in case I drop my 1 of bad card. The 1 of Tract. Then you play 3 Chimera. This is like Chimeric Fusion. This is like such a fucking good card. Then 3 Patchwork, also a very good card. Like, you really want to open 1 of these, like, and honestly, I want to open, like, I'm fine with opening multiple of these sometimes. Like, this card allows you to play through so much, like targeted interruption, targeted removal, targeted negation, like, just so good playing that. And then obviously the 2 poly that you're going to be searching with your Patchwork. And if you hard open poly, just a fusion spell. You really need to see a fusion spell with your deck, and you have a lot of ways to get to it. In fact, almost all your cards get to a fusion spell, but if you don't see a fusion spell, you just lose. And then I play 1 Silhouette Trick as the last engine card. This is probably the only change I would make with the deck. This should just probably be Azurine, but Silhouette Trick is cool. I have a QCR, which is shiny. The Rabbit's cool. And also, it's an illusion deck, so sometimes you can just pull this out and you can negate for like 4 cards, which is kind of cool. Not necessarily good. And then I play Breakers. Breakers. It's not like a Scooby-Doo character. 1 Called by, 3 Book of Eclipse, 3 Droplet, and 3 Talents. Honestly, all of these cards were extremely good for me. I actually didn't draw Called by, so I guess that one. This card, yoink. It's playing 42 cards, so you could just cut the Called by. You cut the Called by and the Trick, and then just play 40, which I mean is probably like a very valid thing to do. Oh my god, I cannot speak. But anyway, the Talents is just really good in terms of like playing into hand traps, obviously, because if they hand trap you, can draw 2, and if you're drawing 2 in this deck, you're probably drawing 2 life cards, unless it's like a Patchwork or like an extra normal summon. So then, I mean, it's not that great, but generally you have a lot of life cards to draw. But also, of course, you can just hand rip them, and then going second, this can steal, and the stealing is really good because you can then fuse their cards away, or like away, but fusing away is very cool. Droplet. I think people know why this card's good. This card's really cool because when you go first and they nibber like a Veiler or Imperm you, you can book it for free basically because you're just gonna feed your guy off anyway. So the fact you lose the body like for like let's say you do it to Ash, right? Like if they Ash you and you chain Eclipse, then you're like, okay, well that's like not the worst. Like I can do something because I still have Poplar, but like it sucks to lose the Ash body. Whereas in this deck you don't really care about losing the bodies because you just keep using them anyway with fusion spells. So this is the main deck. 42, like I said, the only change I said was the Azurine for the trick. Or just take out both those cards, the trick and the call by, and play 40. This is extra deck. Guardian Chimera, kind of like the whole card the deck was based on. Chimera, King of the Phantom Beast, the other card the deck was based on. Birthmet, while not being Chimera, I guess Chimera's like older, different brother. This card is just absurd, better than Chimera. This card recycles Chimera, which is really good because you'll banish this, and then this will summon it back, and then you'll get to banish the same copy again, and then this will do the same thing, and then you can use the same one 3 times. But this card just is foolish, and foolish is just good, especially with like with a deck like Tau or the Necrom. This foolish Necrom a lot too. So this allows you to attack everything, but this could easily be Air Leader, Necroquip, or a few other cards. I honestly didn't summon this once in the World Celebration. Minor Believer, this is a Light Fiend, so you're able to link this in Requiem, and so then what I was able to do is I was able to like summon this, get a draw, go into Requiem, use another body, or sorry, go into Requiem, summon Engraver, summon that Engraver back, make Sequence, summon Desiree, and then I would, and then next turn I would go like Fusion Spell, summon Desiree, or send the Desiree, summon this, and then do it all over again basically. And that way I was able to get draws for free. I was able to get the Desiree Sins for free. It was just like a crazy resource loop versus Runic, and I eventually just won. Then we get Desiree, then Desiree. I'll do this with the Fiendsmith cards though. So it's all the non-Fiendsmith fusions. There's only one legal Fiendsmith fusion. So the Desiree, the Sequence, and the Requiem. I'm not playing Moon. You could play Moon. Like you could also cut this guy for Moon. But I didn't find you needed it because like I think Moon is really good in a lot of decks because when you get hand trapped, you go into Moon and then you go in your engine. But when you get hand trapped, you're not gonna have 2 bodies in this deck, which is kind of my theory behind it. And a lot of time, like it's not like you don't really want to turn 2 bodies into it. Like if you're able to play enough to where you want to go in your Fiendsmith cards, it means you're able to access it typically through either drawing Engraver or what's more often than not is the adjusted gold play or the Magnum play. I do the Magnum play a lot, especially going second more so though, where you summon the Magnum. And then you kind of pick it apart board and use the Magnum effects, and then you are able to link it off for Requiem. I play the Silhouette Rabbit, a Muttcracker, and SP. Muttcracker doesn't call it that much, but it's just a good card to have. Silhouette Rabbit, also just a cool card to have. Especially when Tau locks you into illusions, you're able to just link off for this card. Also good when you get hand trapped a bit. Like if you don't have your full board, like let's say you get hand trapped and you stop you from your Fiendsmith package, right? Like Ash on the Requiem or something. You're able to use that instead, and it's also really good. The SP is SP, right? I mean, everyone knows that card's good. Caesar and Lars. Beach is a banned, so you play Lars. Although a lot of people play Lars before. This is just an extra negate, because a lot of times you're not going to summon Desiree turn 1, the way your combos just work. So you just summon the Lars, and you have your negate. Usually you have like Lars, Caesar, and then you have your 2 6s, like Berfamont and Chimera under these. So when you use these effects, those will come back, and then you'll Chimera summon a guy, and then you'll Berfamont summon a guy. And then you'll have like typically you'll have your Chimera fusion, and then your Chimera fusion to some Guardian Chimera, then you have your Murder Sword in the graveyard, and there's interruptions of them live after using these, and just like a lot to break through. And then Chaos Angel, like I said, this card you can use it at Caesar. It's also just like you can summon a Light Dark Chaos Angel, decks just can't out it sometimes. But yeah, just a big dude and an outs card essentially. So for the side deck, I did take a breaker approach, but I decided to play some Bestials, and these are Moltrons, but I had to give them back. These are the only hand traps I played in my deck, and I don't really regret it. Although I lost 2 games the entire day, and it was because I went second versus Inferno and he hand looped me, and then I went second versus Brandon, and they basically summoned Puppet, essentially. Yeah. Okay, so that's I got this backwards. Yo, wait 1 second. Let me fix this real quick. Okay. Anyway. Change of Heart and 2 Mind Control. These are basically for Caesar. I think if a lot of decks are ending on Caesar, you steal it, and then like you're like inboard. I'm sorry, their inboard's a lot weaker because Caesar can usually negate other parts of their inboard too. Like for example, versus Yubel, Caesar can negate the Trap card or the Rage or whatnot. And then you have your Duster and Storm. These cards aren't necessarily that important. But I was at a smaller tournament, like a 25-person tournament. I expected to play against some Rogue. But these didn't really come in. The finals I was playing versus Whitewood's Runic, and I did Duster him, which is really nice. And then you have 3 Dark Ruler. It's just like a superior board breaker whenever you're going against versus a combo deck most of the time. Any monster focused combo deck at least. You activate this, and generally the rest of your engine can just break through whatever's left after it, if anything. And then I wanted to dispel. Like, I know you have Dispel in your main deck essentially with Diabells, but I was like, you know what, fuck it, just run the one into spell because I had another slot. I didn't know what to put. So anyway, that's it for the deck. I think it's really cool. I think people should probably try Chimera out. That now that we're a little free from Snake Eye. Not necessarily that Snake Eye's bad. I think Snake Eye Fire King is still a pretty good deck. Snake Eye Pure is like okay, but I think the power level just kind of dropped down a bit overall. So it might give you the opportunity to bring this to, you know, at least to locals. You know, if you don't want to bring it to a regional or a bigger event. But like super fun. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next one.